What do you get when you cross a Mazda Miata with a Honda Odyssey? A Honda Fit. Wait, before you go, hear me out. I know the Fit's formula is simply Econo Box that has crazy capacity for a very small package and small footprint. However, this is Honda we're talking about, not Nissan. So what Honda likes to do for even their base model Econo Box focused semi-K cars is they'll make them fun. And that's one thing that Honda does really well with cars is they add that little dash of fun. Of course, my neighbors have these guys out here with like 20 horsepower weed whackers going off, but fuck it, we'll do it live. Let's keep on rolling. So the Honda Fit is one of those cars that I have actually lusted over driving quite a bit, and I've never driven one, and today is going to be an exception because this is a Sunday Cup prepped Honda Fit. It's no ordinary Fit. It's literally set up to go on the racetrack. But I can only ascertain that the Honda Fit is one of those really fun cars just because it's a lightweight, little goofy car that you can just toss around corners. And I've always had a soft spot for Honda Fits. In fact, one of my dream daily driver builds is a Honda Fit, probably a Generation 2 with an L15 B7 from the new Civic Si swapped into that, because you can have around, say, 250 foot-pounds of torque and also get like 50 miles per gallon. And I think that would be an incredible daily driver, and you've got tons of space. So I had this whole intro planned out with Pete, the owner of the Honda Fit. However, he didn't want his face showing, and majority of the B-roll that I took had Pete's face in there, and also I did a little interview for him. So what we'll do is I'll put some overlay of Pete showing me how the Fit kind of operates, me riding shotgun, and hear his narrative in the background. Pete, first question for you.
Why are you...
Do you like this?
I'm a cheap fuck. That's the biggest reason why.
Also, how and why did you get into cars and this terrible hobby of burning money in a dumpster?
So I've always been into mechanical stuff, things like that. Cars, I guess, was always just natural. I always liked them as a kid, and then I've always wanted to do always like motorsports and stuff as a kid. My family really didn't have anything to do with it, so it was always just a self-motivated thing. And, got to college and did some stuff with Formula E, and got to do some stuff as well on the East Coast. A year I was in college, Skip Barber had a demo day for free where you got to go out and go for ride-alongs at Lime Rock.
Okay.
Which was phenomenal.
I bet.
Yeah, it was one of the best experiences of my life. Time went on, I finally had the money to go autocross and do stuff, and then always wanted to do track things in the One Lap of America. Did the One Lap of America as a transit helper in 2019.
Okay.
Was in a Honda Accord that year, and then came back again in 2022 with my buddy Eric in this car.
That leads me to my next question. Why are you like this? So we've got that good background, but what do you have here today?
So it's a 2008 Honda Fit. It's just suspension work for the most part, roll bar, 6-point harnesses, and a race tech seat, short rim intake, and a muffler delete, just to make it audible enough to hear it so it doesn't drone too badly on the freeway. But that's really it. It's mostly, everything about it has been about keeping it as reliable as possible, because that's the number one thing, is it's a seat time car.
Absolutely.
It's built for Sunday Cup. It's not tuned right now, so it's not at the true limit of the class. But the whole goal was Sunday Cup is a pathway to seat time. Like 2021, just doing, not have a membership or anything anywhere, but like just in 2021, I did 1,500 track miles in this car.
You said how many?
1,000 to 1,500 track miles. And then it just...
Not a single thing.
Yep. I had an axle that went in Colorado.
Okay.
And so now I keep, but I have the cooling system still stock. I have all the air conditioning still, because it's still a street car that does 10, it can do 10 or 20,000 miles a year depending on the year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
He drove here from San Antonio, and that's like about an hour or so away, just on his stock tires. But I mean, otherwise, do you plan to keep this car for a pretty long time until they get rid of Sunday Cup, which will probably never happen?
Even if without Sunday Cup, I'd probably hang on to the car. It has, as I mentioned, it's been with me since 2008. So this has been in my family since it was brand new. My parents bought this car brand new in August of 2008. For a year, it went to one of my best friends, because I ended up changing up and going to a slightly newer Fit for a year, but ended up coming right back to it. So even if Sunday Cup were to go away, I'd probably stick with this, and it would just continue to go in a different direction. It's just so reliable. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. This car went to Laguna Seca and back in 2023 in October. It's gone and driven a little bit of street miles in the Austin area to keep the fluids fresh, keep the oil moving, keep the gas in it good. But this is the first track weekend. It was just, I just had to do a quick nut and bolt, check everything over, check the brake fluid, and off we went.
And Pete said this was sitting for how long before you brought it here today?
18 months.
18 months. And started up and drove on out of here. We're doing good. Of course, I would knock on some wood out here, but I don't think I really need to with something like this. So I have some initial laps in this from earlier, but unfortunately the GoPro decided it would do GoPro things and cut out. So now we are actually doing a time series between me and friends. This rotates so nicely. Torsion beam rear end or not, under brakes, yeah, it'll rotate extremely hard on the front end because we have drum brakes, stock drum brakes. Yeah, Pete has not changed anything with the brakes in the back. And G-Lock R10 or R12 in the front, which is, for my opinion, and this track is a bit much. Tires nice and hot before we go. Got to get everything out of this little guy because it doesn't have much. And you can just feel it swaying everywhere, and it's hilarious. This corner I'm usually terrified of, but you can take it flat out. There we go. Ass end is scooting along. It feels so quaint in here when you're doing this, but on the outside there's a lot of chaos going back there. The rear end is shimmying all over the place. It's hilarious. There we go. There we go. Try not to scrub too much speed because you really have to build up momentum in this car. Oh yeah, we lost a lot of speed right there. Dumb inputs. Hoping that this FRS doesn't mess my time up. I screwed that up too, but it's okay. This is just the first lap. Ah, it's okay. It's all good. This car is hilarious, dude. I love this car so much. There we go. There we go. Little something, something. Chuck it in here, chuck it in, and power on. I lift a little bit there. Come on, dude. Please don't mess my lap up. Or, you know what, give me a tow. Ah, come on, man. Fuck. God damn it. Alright, I have to get one more in it because Dum-Dum. Dum-Dum McStupid back there. Just flat out right here at that section. Right here. I think Pete was telling me to go because he saw all the drama with dumbass McGee out there. There we go, chaos. Absolute chaos in the rear, which is great. There we go, got some good rotation on that, but I scrubbed off a lot of speed there, it's fine. Try to keep it tidy. This corner I'm having a hard time with. To not carry enough speed in there, it's fine. There we go, there we go, there we go. Nice and smooth, smooth operator. Okay. Could have gotten that 137, I think. Screwed up a few spots, it's okay. We're just having fun, but that's how sedate and easy this car is to drive, is you can push. You could just push the limits and it's totally fine. It's like, give me more, Snake, hurt me more. This car is one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. And it's not fast. Like that's the cool thing. Like slow car fast is so much fun. Fast car fast is also fun, but whatever. Whenever you just have no cares in the world and it's just you in a shitbox, man, winning at life. The thing is, you can overbrake in spots. Like you just want to barely pinch the brake. Give it a little pinch on the cheeks and rotate. I wasn't diving in hard enough. I should have, but it's okay. This is a great car to run a series in. Low cost, low maintenance. Torsion beam rear end or not, I mean, the setup is awesome. It's very neutral for a front wheel drive car. It rotates nicely. It likes to do the little shimmy in the rear end. You can feel it, but it's not going to snap out even with the short wheelbase. It's very docile in the rear. 11 of 10, I want a Honda Fit.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about my experience with trying to set the fast lap against Canoe, Pete, and Youssef. I'm just going to go ahead and blame the 86 guy. I was like, come on. However, the guy did come up to me afterward and he was like, hey, who was driving the Fit? I am so sorry. I totally screwed up. I didn't mean to like mess your lap up. I could have gotten 37s, but let's not make this about that. Excuses. Next time we'll go faster because we decided that we want to have a little Eurobeat social, my group, to have a little bit of a Fit battle every time we go to the track and Pete comes and brings the Fit. Speaking of the Fit, let's go ahead and knock out the tier list right now. I'm going to go ahead and just put the Fit right into S tier because it is one of the most fun cars I have ever driven to date. And that is so weird for me to say because I don't think I got over like well into the 90 mile per hour range with this car. However, the way it was set up, Pete's setup was very neutral. In fact, he was like, oh, let me write down notes because I'm getting the same feedback from everybody else that is driving the car, that the car is super neutral. You can just toss it into a corner. If you need to adjust mid-corner with a little bit of understeer, all you have to do is just do some lift-off oversteer and the ass end kind of rotated around. Speaking of the ass end, that was a hoot because when you're driving the car, it feels fairly composed and you feel everything on the front end. It doesn't have an LSD, and you're just like wailing on this car and giving it everything that she's got. but it feels so composed, and mid corner you have like no fear. There was corners where you're just flat out that I usually don't go flat out in, and I just had no fear. However, I wish that I had taken footage of this, but I got in Yusef's Miata to chase the Fit while Canoe was driving it, and it is chaotic back there. Like, the Fit is a very tall car for how like small of a car it is. Even though it's lowered on 200 tread bore tires, the thing is that car was sitting there like teetering over like it was getting ready to flip. The back end was just chaotic because on the outside the car was just like tilting and tipping everywhere, and you can see mid-corner adjustments in the back of the car just like shifting, and it was hilarious. Like, the car just made me giggle so much. There's really not much to say about the drivetrain. It is powered by the L15A7, not the B7, so it's not the turbo one. So single overhead VTEC, and that motor there's not much going on. All Pete had done to it was the RAM intake, and that is it. Getting wailed on, hitting rev limiter just fine. Super reliable car. Suspension, again, super well sorted, super neutral, not much to talk about. The brakes were actually more than what that track needed. They were like G-Lock R10 or R12. Pete doesn't remember. All I know is you could overbrake really quickly with this car. This car required a lot of finesse, and yes, this thing was like slow car fast. Like, this was the epitome of a momentum car. And me, as a front wheel drive, not a front wheel drive hater, I don't hate front wheel drive cars, I just prefer rear wheel drive cars. This car changed my perception on front wheel drive Hondas like instantly. It was so easy to drive. I can't knock front wheel drive anymore. This makes me want to drive some really good front wheel drive Honda Civics that I have never had a chance to drive before. So hopefully sometime in the future I get to drive more front wheel drive cars, because it was a fun driving experience, especially kind of doing that lift off oversteer, which is something you don't really want to do with a rear wheel drive car, but you can if that's your driving style. Regardless, this Fit was like rated E for everyone. This thing was good for everyone to drive. Everyone got a good feel of this car within like a lap. So I'm gonna keep this short because we've already been over the S tier rating, because this car is just so phenomenal. I actually want to get a Fit now as some sort of daily, just to kind of have to hoon around whenever I'm not driving the Miata. And damn you, Pete, I need one of these cars in my life, and it's your fault. Either way, thank you so much for getting this far. Be sure to like and subscribe. What do you think? Have you driven a Honda Fit yet? It's my philosophy like a Miata. People that talk shit about the Miata, I say haven't really driven a Miata before, or they can't fit in one. I feel like people that are like, no, the Honda Fit, like that's an economy car. That can't be fun. Please just go drive one. So my recommendation to you is go drive a Honda Fit. They're hilarious, they're fun, they're economical, and you're not going to get in trouble just by ringing it out. Until next time, bye!
Be sure to like and subscribe.